hello, and welcome back to Ayahuasca Assisted Therapy podcast. And today I'm super excited to be here with Fabrizio Dimitri, who is connecting with us from Iquitos, from Peru, but he is originally from Italy, but he lived all over the world. So I'm just super excited to hear his story and what is the good work that he is doing down in the jungle with the powerful plant medicine. So thank you for coming on the podcast, Fabrizio, and welcome.
Yes, thank you too. I'm very pleased to participate. I'm very happy. Yes, thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, so another fellow human from Europe, I'm from Hungary as well. So we kind of ended up like a long way from home. So tell us a little bit about your life path and, how did you come across with the medicine? What brought you to the medicine? If you had any ailments or any problems that set you out on this like self-discovery and healing, and how did you end up where you are now?
So let's say my story started from I was a researcher, biomedical researcher, and my activity was based on a brain-computer interface and computer vision and emotional interface between machine and the human being. And doing this kind of job, at a certain point, I start to get mad, like I see what I understand that what we see is not what is really outside there, and this start to put a lot of doubts in my mind about how science is made, the scientific method, and normal life, I don't know if you heard about this experiment of the moon dancing bear. That is a bear that is crossing the screen while there are people passing a ball, and most of the people don't see it. So I was thinking there is a lot of bear crossing my day, every day, my visual, and I don't notice them. No? So I a little bit like overthinking too much. So I quit my job and I left for Asia, looking for some spiritual help to understand better what we are compared with the outside, where we are in the middle between the outside and the inside. And this brought me to live to China, very close to Tibet, and then give me the chance to live with hermit, a monk living in the mountain alone, a kind of Chan monk, so he's a Buddhist Chinese Buddhism, and I live with him, and I saw miracles, man. He was reading in my mind. He know what people doing. He was so connected with the reality that he moved in time, like the police is coming for checking for him, and just before he disappeared, magically, all this connectedness. And then I asked him, I want to learn, I don't know what's happening, how you do that, because my science till now cannot explain this. You cannot read exactly my mind, my question, and my thinking. It's too much. Maybe you can read emotion, but not that far. So that's how I start my path, and then he brought me to live in monastery, Tibetan monastery in Nepal, brought me to Tibet 3 times, India, again back to China because I was very connected with this monk. Yes, and so I spent more or less 12 years there. Till I don't know, I had like a big crash in my life. I made it to start up in Hong Kong about technology and artificial intelligence. They failed, and then my visa in China was kind of complicated. So at a certain point, I find myself with nothing. No job, no house, no girlfriend, nowhere to go, So I take a trip to visit a friend here in Mexico, and boom, there I met the medicine here, So first things was DMT-based Changa, and it was like, wow, what is this, It was really mind-blowing for me. And then from there, I want to explore more, Then I go to live with the shaman in Mocoa, in Colombia, for 6 months. And I went to explore from there Ecuador, the Shuar there, and then so on. I want to go more deep. I want to go to the roots of this medicine at the time. So I come here to Iquitos. I have the chance to meet this shaman, Don Gardel. And after living with him, I saw that he was not only knowledgeable, but have a good heart, because it's so easy for me to speak, and the other things is life, Me, I measure life, I measure action, So I met so many shamans, a lot of spiritual blah, 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 a lot of seems cool, seems poor love. But then I measure how they do with the neighbor, how they do with their wife, their children, are generous, accept people without money, they share medicine for free. I measure this. And I found Gardel, a person that he does this, that he share medicine for free with the people if they need that. He give medicine to everybody. If you have money, of course he make you pay. If not, it doesn't matter, It's medicine, And then
okay. One second, just I have a couple of questions. So first of all, like, how did you pick China to go to? I mean, like you are like, what brings somebody to go to a communist country, which is like super suppressed? I mean, I understand that they have spirituality, plus, there is a huge language barrier as well, like Chinese is very different. Like, so how did you communicate when you were there, and how was your experience like living there and like searching for whatever you were searching for, or learning from these people? Like, tell a little bit about that.
Yes. Quite frankly, I arrived in China just on my way to go to India. And then when I arrived there, I end up, on this mountain, on this very special place that is on the border with Laos, Burma, Tibet, and so it's not the big China we see on TV, traffic, big city. It's like still the old China, so East China with this, slow rhythm, taking your tea, or smoke your cigarette, very slow, full of knowledge, And this really excites me, that see that knowledge was spread among the people, with a little way of doing things, little bit of saying, and there is a lot of interesting in Taoism. For me, it was very interesting at the moment. Where I was living, there was many Taoist temples. There was even a mountain, a holy mountain with like 20 Taoist monastery there. So yes, I decided to live there. The language barrier, you overcome that. Not that complicated, English, and then I learn a little bit of Chinese. Get me, or always with some Chinese friend that can help me to translate some monk that I don't understand. Yes, it was not a big issue, at the end.
Very interesting, especially I think now how things are going now in the world. So, tell me about, like, for example, how did you find Don Gardel? Because a lot of people asking these questions who are traveling to Peru, wanting to go to an authentic healer or a curandero. And as you said, there are so many people out there offering their services, their medicine. So what did you do? How did you?
I do understand. Actually, this is very important. It's a shame, but in this world of shamanism, there is a lot of brujeria, black magic. I don't know how to say it. Even, I tell you, some very important center that I don't want to say the name, because I am a little bit cautious about this brujeria, because maybe I'm not strong enough, to fight back the story. But we receive like 5 or 6 guests from them with problems that they get in this center. So it's very important to choose the center. Like for me, you go there, you check the person, you look at the master, and then first thing, try to bring down the price. Let's see how this person is money greedy, traditional healer should not be about money. It was on donation, traditionally, the shamanism here. Actually, it was not even a job a person in a community, in a tribe have to do. His job, farmer, hunting, whatever, and to be shaman is a service. It's not a job, you understand? So let's try to check the shaman, try to bring down the price. I'll see how is check with other people staying there, Try to see, stay 1 week, don't book 1 month, stay 1 week, check how he's living, if he's generous, if he drinks alcohol, for example, or things like this. Try to see the person. And I tell you, me, I don't know. At the moment, me, I'm living on synchronicity. The people that arrive, I don't look for shaman, they come like this, pam, 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 pam. I tell you, it's crazy, I do couch surfing, I end up in a shaman house. Then invite me to another shaman house. And it's like this,
Yes.
And this is the beauty,
That's also important, as you say, when you are aligned and when you have the right intention, things just, flow into your way. And that's very true. But I think a lot of people are not in that state of flow.
Yes, I understand.
And yeah, thank you for good pointers. Like, definitely, I think if people are going to Peru, it's really important what you are saying, that you actually try to get to know the person within their community and their reputation and how they behave in an everyday situation, not just in ceremonial setting, which can be difficult for people who are just like traveling there for like 1 week or something, and they don't have time to stay there and to explore necessarily. So what, like, did you, like, you went directly for the ayahuasca because once you took it, it was like calling you to go deeper and you wanted to explore more, and you just went directly to Iquitos, started to explore and connected with this person and started working with him?
Then, in my call arrived in Mexico. Then I lived 6 months with the shaman in Colombia, but I didn't, like I said, I was looking at him and I was treating his daughter, his wife. Was not something I like. I feel that it was full of fear, full of hidden things. I didn't like, so I went. And then I came here to Iquitos. I met Don Gardella. And then it was like, wow, good. But then I want to see where I want to go more deep. So I want to look at the roots of this medicine. So I went in Acre, that is a region of Brazil, where still there are the tribes doing, not really contacted, like still a little bit wild. So I went to live with them, and I did the diet of ayahuasca with the shaman, then drinking ayahuasca every day, twice a day. And and then it was really in the jungle, in the tribe. They were not listening Western music. They really tribe, And that was interesting. It was interesting to see. I like, for example, that for them ayahuasca is a party. You understand? The women put their best clothes, they paint their face. The men put the feathers, the best clothes. It's like a Saturday night for us. They go drink, dance, la la la, la la la, and make a party. Is a joy, is life, ayahuasca. In these tribes, they use ayahuasca for like a community problem, like on Sunday, they drink ayahuasca very liquid, very light, just to connect with each other, They drink a glass, and then they start to like talk in circle, with ayahuasca. So it was a really different experience. Like when I see the tourists here, they put the worst clothes, like working clothes, before the ceremony, thinking like it's a job, all sad. And then I was thinking this Brazilian indigenous, like, ayahuasca tonight. And it felt very deep.
Yeah, so there's many ways and many traditions. So can you say a little bit more of what were the traditions that you explored, and where is Don Gardel coming from, and what is his lineage, and where he brings his knowledge and the wisdom?
Mm-hmm. So, allora, what I explored was the Yahe of Colombia, and then the ayahuasca here in Peru, and the ayahuasca in Brazil. I tell you what I like more is the tradition here in Peru. I think connecting ayahuasca with dieting a plant, with the knowledge of other plants, or sometimes doing a dawn in this ayahuasca make ayahuasca very powerful. I tell you from also my experience, ayahuasca is very powerful, but if you put it inside the frame of a diet, wow, rise the knowledge you can get from this brew, you know. So that's why I decided to stay here, because this tradition of many plants and ayahuasca and putting the two things together and the dieting, I feel like I was giving better results. The lineage of Gardella also is a nephew of a shaman, and so he started to drink ayahuasca when he was 12. The shaman of closer to Brazil, so that kind of indigenous. And then we have the teacher of Gardella, La Maestra, that now is with us. So we have another woman whose lineage is his grandfather that was a tabaquero, and with her personal story about ayahuasca. That is like a woman of 65 years old that is drinking ayahuasca for more than 20. But what I like about her is the knowledge of the plant. She have an incredible knowledge. And then when I ask her, how you know that for this person the liver, this is the plant, and she said, the plant told me, you know, so simple, you know. I'm like, what, you know, like this, you know, like not I learn from somebody, no, just simple. The plants told me in a dream, and when I live alone in the jungle, because this woman live a long time alone in the jungle, she can hear them, you know? Like I don't know, like an hallucination, auditory hallucination, but she can hear them, you know. So I love this woman, you know. It's so powerful, and yes, because she can do that. For me, like you know, science fiction, you know. Remember, me, I'm coming from a world is very scientific, you know. So you know, for me, it's
Yeah,
a
so
big
that's my
shift,
other
you know.
yeah, that's my other question. Like, again, first, language barriers. Like, when I was there with the Shipibos, like, some of them didn't even speak Spanish, but then like Spanish was the common language. So, like, how do you communicate with them in Spanish, or in, like, do they speak?
Spanish. Spanish.
Right,
Thanks
right.
God, everybody speak Spanish. Little bit funny Spanish, you know, jungle Spanish. But now I can
Yeah.
start to understand the jungle.
Yeah, and I'm really interested in your kind of discovery and what kind of results you were looking for in your journey, because most of the people I talk to, they are coming for a healing purpose. Normally they have something, they suffering from some
Mm.
physical, mental, emotional problem that they can't resolve. That's why most people come to the medicine. Or
Yes.
another group of people who come to my practice, they are like, what is my life purpose, why I'm here, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's you are the first person who is kind of like a scientific explorer or something, going with this different
Yeah.
intention. So what is that you are looking for? What is that you searching for with this journey?
I tell you, what excited me was curiosity, you know, really. And yes, and I'm thinking the day I try DMT in Shanghai, I open a door in a new universe, new dimension that I keep on exploring, you know. And it seems, you know, like this universe very big, you know. So I'm very curious. I'm like an explorer, you know. This is my purpose, you know. Try to understand more, try to have more experience. and try, of course, try to help the people around us, because for me this is a revolutionary thing. How it can change the conscience. I see, in so many guests how the people come and go, big different. For example, now I just started like 2 months ago to give to the people who come a test, a psychological test. It's called NETI, NETI. Is a test to measure the non-dual perception of reality. And what I noticed we are just at the beginning of the test, that the people who did ayahuasca a long time, like 2-3 months, wow, have such a high score, higher that in literature belong to psychotherapists that did, long years, after 3 months. Wow. Like let's say a normal people score around 50, 60, a trained psychologist student around 60 to 70, like a therapist around 70 to 80. The people who did ayahuasca with us, just what I measured, 3-4 months, they score average around 80, like wow. And they were normal people with no training, like, I feel like this ayahuasca is kind of revolutionary, It can really, in the right context, with the right integration, can really, make the people grow high, to this non-duality level of understanding reality. And so, yeah, this is my contribution.
What is that you learned through your exploration with the medicine so far, and how does that influences your everyday life? Like, how is your life different because now you know these things or you discover these things?
So I can talk for 3 hours. Yeah, I don't know. The first thing that come to my mind, because we discussed yesterday in a Mambe circle, is I'm not scared about dying. So this is wow. I already died. I've been dying like 5 or 6 times in ayahuasca. Now I get it, the process, and I'm not scared anymore. And actually, I perfectly see that me. I mean, what I call me, my a self that is inside me, is not this meaty bag I bring around. Understand it? It's not this meaty bag. It's something. This meaty bag is like a car. When it's used, it's all changes. What's the problem? Not a big issue. And so this big understanding come with ayahuasca, and then bigger lesson also about the connectedness. We are all connected. People, energy, plants, animals, and when you start to navigate this connectedness, then it starts to come the synchronicity, and then you move in time with the nature, and like Wu Wei is a Chinese concept, no action. So is the things come effortless with no action. Wu Wei, empty action. And this is what I learned as well, like we are so connected that sometimes intention can bring the things you want. We are so connected to everything, but with the plants, with the energy, with the people around us, Also the people need to be far away, but also with the energy of the sun and the moon. We are so connected to everything. Like in us, we have I don't know, like to say, like an holographic representation of the universe, like a small mirror of the big mirror. We are, totally inside of us. There is the same universe that is outside. Like let's say, like the alchemist was saying, like up, same down. It's the same idea. Like everything there is also inside us. And when you start to see this, you start to enter in your life, you start to live it, and then life starts to get enjoyable.
Definitely more enjoyable.
Yeah.
So you are interested in helping people to, like, in their kind of awakening, to go to raise their awareness, their frequency.
Mhm,
That's what you are interested in,
mhm,
and you are finding
mhm,
that this is a very powerful tool to help people to
mhm,
do that. That's why you are so
mhm.
excited about this whole topic. Mhm.
Yes, yes, yes. And of course, we treat patients with depression, suicidal, addiction, alcohol addiction, many problems, But I tell you, what I quite frankly prefer is just, like, let's say, I don't like really this word that much. Normal people that want to be elevated, want to improve themselves. This is what I see the best result, because sometimes it's very complicated with people with strong psychological issues. It's quite complicated. It takes a lot of time, and
Yeah, I wanted
sometimes
to
these
ask
people is not on it,
what kind of client you are kind of attracting or you are looking for. So, because there are centers who specialize in like addiction recovery, or
Yeah, yeah,
like like complex PTSD or something. So you are more geared to
yeah,
people who are more like self-discovery and
yeah.
scientific, and like just a little bit, not necessarily last stage cancer patient who wants to
No.
last or to go to the ayahuasca. So do you have any screening process when you take on a client for a retreat? Like, do you screen
Uh,
them quickly? Do you have any doctor?
I do screening. We have a dialogue. We exchange few words, on WhatsApp or whatever messenger, to understand better if we can really help them,
Yeah.
and or because our style a little bit like little bit jungle, like can be hard for some people, because it's not really luxury our center, For me, it's beautiful, but for some people, it can be hard, to live so direct contact with the nature. So I try to avoid the problem before they present themselves here, So I explain the people what's our way. And sometimes also with ayahuasca, we go for strong dosage, and we put people on an intense medicine trip. Like every day there is like a different kind of medicine, So it's intense. So we want people that ready, that can work in this way, Somebody does, somebody less. I tell you, my favorite result was a girl coming here that was suicidal. She wanted to kill herself before the end of the year, and she was coming. All the first week was crying, and then she went away with a big smile, dreaming about the future. And now she come back every year. She met her own path here. She fall in love with the medicine, and like these cases really give me a lot. Yeah, this is nice. Or when people discover something about their past, their family, and they can solve some issue that make them more free. Yeah, this is give me a lot of satisfaction. I tell you, I will be curious to work with the people with cancer or things like this. Of course, honestly, I cannot promise anything, But Saisa, I saw the power of this medicine to cure really weird stuff, I saw people cure from Crohn disease that is apparently is incurable, in just 2 weeks, 3 weeks of drinking ayahuasca. I saw also myself, I've been cured from a strange virus infection that very difficult to fight because it's a mutated virus from one day to another. So I saw the power of this medicine. So I will be curious to see what we can do. You know,
And so,
I believe the medicine can do something.
so who decides when you take on a client and they have with a specific intention why they want to do this, and you put together a program for them and say, this is how long it lasts, this is the medicines that you're going to take? Like, who decides that? You decide that?
I decide.
You decide what
I
medicine?
decided because it comes from like 3-4 years of trial and error, experimenting different therapy, different way. And let's say that now we have like a protocol.
What
I
is
took my language, you know.
Can you share the protocol with us?
Yeah, for example, 1 week protocol. So 1 week protocol, you come and we give you the first floral bath or herbal bath to clean your energy. The morning after within you, we give you a combo, a good combo, strong ones in order to clean your blood, your guts, and things like this. The third day, we go for ayahuasca. So for us, it's like cleaning like your clothes, cleaning your guts, cleaning your spirit mind, you know. The day after, we have a Mambe ceremony to integrate in a community feeling, you know, people feel upset, open up. Very important this, you know, to be accepted about somebody else in the community. Feel free to express and share what you feel, even if something hard. And then again, 1 day of rest where we can have another floral bath, and then again ayahuasca, and again Mambe the day after, and then we close on Sunday with a dancing night using San Pedro, doing this static dancing, you know, like not a kind of party, you know, everybody dance in the dark, we put candles, everybody dance more or less alone, the music is emotional kind of, we go very slow, very more fast, more slow, you know, but very emotional, you know, and so people can express having part of a process in the dancing, and then there's the dancing, so it's like also celebrating life and joy, you know, and this is our, let's say, typical week.
That sounds really, really nice. And do people, like, how big are the groups? Is like small groups? Do you do individual kind of program? Or yeah?
We, I tell you, better more, you know, to make like a more connection between the people, a sense of intimacy that, you know, after the ceremony of ayahuasca, that everybody that is a stranger continue, you know, because people share in this very strong moment, you know, hear somebody screaming, or God knows, you know, and then with the Mambe, they start to know each other. So, and the same team, you know, like La Maestra, this women shaman, she's cooking for the people, you know, like a big mama. So this make this family feeling, and we want to keep this. I feel like this is part of the healing, you know, not to become anonymous, you know, it's like people belong to a kind of entering a big family, you know, with the big mama, with the daddy, you know, and like this, you know.
And so Don Gardel lives there where the center is, and you live there, and his family lives there on the premises. I understand, right?
Yes.
And you have other curanderos coming in to serve other types of medicine.
There are these two curanderos, people that comes 1 or twice a month. There is the teacher of Gardel, that is the most powerful shaman we have, according to me. That yes, she lives with us most of the time. Sometimes, you know, she takes 1 month to go to see her property down in the jungle. You know, she disappear for 1 month. We need to contact her. You know, for example, we contact her telepathically. There is no phone, so we need to call her and she listened to us in a dream, and maybe we ask her something, and she bring us, it seems magic to me. I know that, but that's the story, This is the funny thing. I'm a recording fact, This is my way, I'm a scientist, I like facts,
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's like this story,
So what happens after the retreat, after the people go home? Do you have any aftercare? Do you recommend people to go to integration therapy after their retreat? What happens when they go home?
Yeah, this is a good question. Actually, we have enough, we just offer our support, especially for the people who, for example, come to learn like to administrate Cambo. So we want to be there with them when they start to use the medicine. Usually people contact us, like a friends, but we have no really a program about that. But this is a things I would like to study more as well. That's why I make this test. And my idea is give the test before they come, as soon they finish, maybe 3 months later when they are at home, and see, if there is a progress, because for me the most important thing is the integration, because one thing you get the great enlightenment in the ceremony, but then to bring this in the flesh, in the meat, in the daily work, in the daily life, this is the challenge, And then okay, you understand that we are all connected and life is wonderful, but then bring it back to your work every day, to your office, in the bus, with your family. This is the
Yes.
challenge,
I agree. So I'm super interested in this test. We're gonna share the name in the description with our listeners, but I think it is interesting to measure this way kind of long-term effects of healing and working with this particular medicine. When I talk about integration, my program is 1 year long, so people do 1 year of therapy after their experience. And what I'm looking at is compared to their intention, what happened in that 1 year. So for example, if somebody's intention was to come off of Xanax and let go on the anxiety and being able to exist, in the normal world, then by the end of the year, I can that's measurable to see, are you still on the medication? Are you feeling better? Do you still have that anxiety to deal with, whatever? So that these are kind of ways that I measure, but these are again people who come directly for healing with specific problems, and they say, this is my issue, this is what I want to change. So I'm interested, it's very interesting, that people who are more going for self-discovery and, scientific interest in something and don't necessarily have an illness, to measure if that went away, then I would be interested in long-term follow-up, because what I see with a lot of people, that a lot of people have temporary results with these retreats and medicines, and then when they are under bigger stress, they tend to regress if they are not therapy, and professional therapy with their process, where they can really anchor those changes and make it permanent, and even in that situation, they were still able to keep ground, so to say. Like, how do you do that? Or do you know anybody who you kind of followed long term and see what happened in their life?
I tell you, for example, we give ayahuasca to the village people for free, because there is some female women issues and you can imagine how bad is the situation here, a lot of alcoholism, and so we try to solve this problem, and so it happened to us to have some alcoholic guys, that wow, start to have good results after not drinking for 6-7 months, very clean, seems a different personality, very joyful, very helpful, and we were so happy. Then, bam, something happened, crisis, family, love, God knows, it was love in this case. And wow, fell back, alcoholism, again, drinking every day. And for me, this, wow, was, at the beginning, I was so proud about the results, but it lasted only, 6-7 months, maybe we were not, I don't know, I tried to read something about addiction, and I see that sometimes you have to move the person away from the place where the addiction starts. So in this case was his family, it's a little village. Maybe the best was to move to Lima or another village, be far away from the place where the addiction started. I don't know really. It was a little bit a pity to see this happen. And yes, I would like to learn more about to do this. I know the center Takiwazi, they take a long time for doing these things. They talk even about a year to be sure to be completely clean. Yes, I see that. Yes, it's true. We miss
So
the
that's very
experience on this.
interesting, what you're saying, and can you give me more information about this? Because I heard that a lot of the native people down there in the Amazon, they look at illness two ways. There either it is like a dietary problem, that you can take a plant for because it's a physical issue, or it's like sorcery, as you said, like brujeria, right? So while in the Western context, like I come from background of psychology and stuff like that, so I look at situations that, oh, that's the result of trauma, and you need to process, shadow aspects and childhood trauma, and you have to resolve your relationship with your parents, and this kind of different mindset, like, so I was wondering, because we always talk about merging the cultures together and learning from them, but also we have something to teach. Maybe it would be good to have a psychologist or somebody who is working with plants and give that perspective as well, because they have a different perspective on healing, and also they are in a different environment, and we are in the West, living in a different environment. So how do you see the difference kind of between their approach to what they think healing is, or why they are taking the medicine in the first place,
Yes, this is my daily job, because I speak with my shaman, they speak their way, so it's brujeria, synchronicities, and we speak other way, trauma from childhood. So the problem I didn't tackle I don't have a solution. Like I just keep the two together. The two. The client, the shaman talk with the client, and the shaman tell the brujeria. Me, I talk with them. I said maybe it's not really brujeria, but maybe some shadows from your past. Something deep down. I try to explain in another language the same thing. I remember me also coming from China, where I studied Taoism, and so I try to do yin yang, I give also different further perspective on the problem, like unbalancing of energy, and yes, I think I don't know, keep the two way to see reality open, it just if you can change the glasses, sometimes you put the red glasses, yellow glasses, but just glasses, so somebody get more attuned to some language, okay, let's use these glasses for you. Somebody more other, because even Western people, somebody prefer talking about energy and spirits than in a psychological term, so they get more attuned to the way of the, let's say, of the shaman, So yeah, let's keep them living together, like if there is no one truth, but the truth have many faces, and every faces is the same truth, is a part of the same truth, you know. So yeah.
I like the different glasses, and that, you know, everything is just a perception really, and there are so many ways to look at the same things, right? So what is your vision with this center, and you living there now, you plan to stay there for a long time? Like, what is your vision, what is that you're trying to create down there? And what are you looking for? Is there any support you are needing? You're looking for particular people, you know, to collaborate with you? Then you can share that here, and hopefully the right people will listen.
So what at the moment the village gave us a lot of land. So we give land to everybody for free. What we like to have like maybe a transient kind of community of people who come, live, go, live, come and go. That everybody can make his own house and live out of there. You know, we don't charge for making your own house. We just help you. The wood is free from the jungle, and you just need to pay a worker, you know, and we just give you land for free. We want similar minded people around us, and to grow, you know, because we think we need to have a core, you know, a critical mass to change all around us, you know. We start to change a little bit the people of the village with example, working on the children, on the pollution, on garbage, you know, but we need more energy, you know. So at the moment we have like 5 or 6 little houses that belongs to 5 or 6 people that once a year they come here to live with us. And we would like to have it bigger, you know. We will like, we started the permaculture garden. We made a big swimming pool for our cambo, and we have 2 crocodiles there. And yes, you know, very interesting. And yes, we want to be auto-sustainable and based on medicine. You know, I feel like medicine is very important. It's really helping people, give them strength. But at the same time, we want to keep the concept that this is a retreat. So a retreat is a concept that comes from a war. You know, you have difficulties in battling. You go back at your base. You know, you prepare your defense. You get stronger. New strategy. You go back there. For me, it's not that I don't want to make like a community here. Understand? The life is there. Is in the city. You know, we need to go back there. We need to bring the idea that we get in this retreat there. We need to get stronger in the retreat to back there. There is where we need to really change something, you know. Here is just a place to get stronger, you know. A retreat in military idea, you know.
Okay, very, very interesting and very good insight. So like a last question for you that I always curious about, what do you think about how much medicine people should drink? You know, there are some people who are like, oh, I've been in this many ceremonies and that many ceremonies, and it's some kind of competition of how many ceremonies somebody with the ayahuasca versus you know, embodying or applying it in your life not necessarily goes, you know, together. So what do you think, you know, and not just, you know, in terms of for people's benefit, but also harvesting, you know, the plants, you know, now so many people are interested in this, like how much medicine do we really need?
We need less. No, yes, first things, a lot of people come here, you know, like they want to drink like crazy, you know, like every day or every 2 days, you know, and they don't understand that, you know, it's a natural process, and nature takes time, you know, it's not a you drink ayahuasca, you get enlightened, you know, it's like a tree, you know, you grow slowly, slowly. So less, you know, go relax, you know, live in, follow the nature rhythm, look around the jungle around you, look at this, how slow the nature is, but how powerful it is. Try to get this rhythm. I tell you, really, people come here with this. We need to do something about this, to change a little bit the concept of ayahuasca, because at the moment I feel like there is so much bad information. Okay, ayahuasca is good, good, good brew, it can help, but it doesn't make that always miracle. It can make sometimes miracle, but it's not you drink one time and you get in life. This doesn't really help, or it change your life. That doesn't really help. You need to cool off this heat that have ayahuasca. And also people always asking for crazy vision or crazy experience. But this, for things, this was the problem that made the shaman made in Iquitos around 2010 to start to head Brugamasia, Toei, Gatura into the ayahuasca room, making really people crazy, because there was the demand of the tourist. I want vision, I want stronger, No. The ayahuasca is called La Purga, the purge. It's the first thing. It's not about vision. It's not called the television. It's called the purge. So it's about cleaning you and purifying you and making and then vision, secondary, is important, but it's not the first things, traditionally about ayahuasca. And so, yes, drink not so much. For me, twice a week is enough. Sometimes even too much, Some people that we see that have a strong reaction, we give them only one time a week, It's enough, because for these people, maybe they last 2 days ayahuasca. The morning after, the afternoon after, they're still a little bit high. So for these people, lower, And about another story you were telling me, about this ayahuasca, is when I was living in Colombia, at a certain point, the shaman want to cook ayahuasca in Mocoa, so the capital of ayahuasca of Colombia. You cannot find the ayahuasca. You need to import from Ecuador. I feel like mind blowing, like what? How can be, Because this is the mentality of the indigenous, infinite resource. The nature, the jungle give us infinite resource. We can cut as much as we want. But now in this global world, this idea is not fitted anymore. So every time we cut, we plant. We plant two, maybe. We cut and we plant. And then we can make this ayahuasca sustainable, because now the demand in the world is really huge. And we have to be careful, because the ayahuasca also takes 5 to 7 times to be ready, 7 years to be ready.
Definitely.
So,
And I heard that originally they only used the wine, the ayahuasca wine, and there was no chacruna in it, that the chacruna was added later to the brew. Have you heard this?
Yes, I heard this as well. The chacruna was added much later, in recent time. But I tell you, I also drink pure ayahuasca made by the pure vine, and in big quantity, because of the hermanina, they give us vision as well, Is psychedelic in big quantity, and for sure it's purchased. But not as psychedelic like DMT,
Okay, so do you have any message that you would like to share with our audience before we finish for today?
Oh, wow. I don't know. I mean, a big message. I don't know. Maybe I go too big, but we should start to change ourselves first if we want to change the world. Just that, just that.
So perfect. That is absolutely perfect. We're gonna include your website and your availability in the description under the video. So check it out and connect with Fabrizio. If you're planning to go to Peru, you can check out his place, and the good work that he's doing down there. And if you are interested more in integration, please connect with me and check out my website, avatarhealingarts.com.
Yes.
My book also, I think Fabrizio, you have a book as well, correct?
Yes, I do have a book. Yes.
Is it in English?
It's in Italian. No, it's in Italian. But now I'm writing the second version, and I plan to translate in English. I make it a bigger version.
Okay, so for the Italian speakers or the Latin speakers, like the book, we will give you the book as well. And really, really nice to meet you today. And thank you so much for sharing like the work that you are doing there. And thank you for.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was really a pleasure. Really, it was really a pleasure. We keep in contact. Yes,
yes,
sure.
Definitely.
About the integration will be very helpful.
Thank you for listening to us today, and stay tuned for our next episode coming soon.